I have the remote.
All right, y'all. Well, we're back. Another year, 2025 on Political Spectrum. That's not our usual intro, but that's the best we could do. But Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year.
Dante's
Happy
elated.
New Year.
I think, Dante, we appreciate you taking a break from the rally. We are as excited for you, and you did a beautiful job of writing that speech, so congratulations.
Wait, I missed it because I'm having some delays on this end.
Oh, no, we just congratulated you on such a well-written speech for the rally.
Yeah, you know, I try to do my best. You know, I'm a former Klansman, just to rattle some people's feathers there.
Well,
You can think of.
Well, it's funny you could say that because, you know, over the break while we were off, there was some conversation around the Panama Canal, the Gulf of America, and acquiring Greenland. So I think Clinton was involved with the peace treaty to acquire the moon.
Yeah, let's colonize.
So we're going to colonize the moon, and I think, you know, another galaxy. So, you know.
Well, you know, handicap people, we want our own planet now. You know?
My only issue with the, you know, wanting to take over Greenland and Canada, I just think we should go somewhere warm. I want Jamaica. I want one of the Caribbean islands. Like, if we're going to pick somewhere, can we pick somewhere that's a little bit, you know, has a beach, the sun? You know, why we got to go somewhere cold and inconvenient?
There is some irony to it. America tried to purchase Greenland 2 other times, but that was almost 85 years ago, you know?
Wow.
I'm sorry, but I think, you know, benefit the people of Greenland more than it'll benefit us. And I don't plan on going there, you know?
No, I don't think that's on my bucket list of things to do. I mean, it's Greenland, Dubai, Caribbean. I don't think Greenland is on, you know, on that top list.
I'm not so excited about freezing my hiney off, you know.
That was an interesting conversation, though. But you know, we'll wait. I know he had to step back to the rally, but I guess we'll wait till Dante gets back. But before we get into our main topic, though, we definitely want to acknowledge the Carter family, and you know, Jimmy Carter has passed, you know, during our slight hiatus, but we want to send condolences to the Carter family.
He made it 100 years. That's pretty impressive.
100 years, and you know, we all have our differences and thoughts about, you know, world leaders, but I think he was, and you know, I'll say this about Trump as well. I think he and Trump will be known as some of the most consequential leaders that we have known. You know, whether you like their policy or the direction or not, they've made some significant shifts in the things that they've done and kind of led.
I think Carter made more of a name for himself after he left the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whether you liked him or you disliked him as a president, you have to admit he did a lot after his term was over. He did a whole lot.
Right. No, I can agree. I think, and I watched the funeral and some of the things they talked about. It was interesting to know, about, as we talk about hostages today and kind of a similar eerie approach to, getting hostages released and that whole deal. And, the agreement with the Egyptian agreement, all of that was, we don't necessarily learn about that, but to know about that was pretty incredible. But like you said, the humanitarian work was.
I remember watching on TV as a little boy.
Oh.
I was like 6 or 7 when all that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm like 8 or 9, pardon me, when all that went down.
Yeah,
but I would like to bring up the local topic before we step into the state and federal.
Sure, go for it.
You probably already know this, but they're about to bring about the E-Splosh. And if you remember, the T-Splosh was voted down. The main focus of the E-Splosh is they spent $400 million building a bunch of brand new schools when they didn't even have the students to fill them, when the student body has decreased. Now they've discovered that they don't have the necessary funds to maintain such large buildings. That just to maintain them, that you have inventory for the cafeteria, nothing. So this is a complete mismanagement of taxpayer dollars, and now they want to hit the people with another penny tax that compensate their mismanagement. And let me make you aware, it's not a penny, it's actually 33% increase on your city taxes every month. If it passes, I'm advocating, and you don't have to agree with me, but for my stance, do not vote for E-Splosh. All they're going to do is keep on mismanaging. Go ahead.
Well, if you could explain to the viewers what is E-Splosh, because some viewers may not know what that is.
Educational, I don't know the full acronym, but it's a
special options. Yeah.
It's a tax increase for education. All right.
Right.
And
special loan options. Yeah.
They already have $4 million to work with, and as I stated, they built a bunch of brand new schools, and they look more like monstrosities that you would build in Washington D.C. They're ridiculous. I mean, they're ridiculously large, ridiculously elaborate. Yeah, they're nice, but come on, we didn't need that.
Well, here's the thing. Well, here's the thing. And E-Splosh is your education special local option sales tax, like you said with the T-Splosh with transportation. What has happened, you all, especially with T-Splosh, our Splosh dollars and all across the board, is what they were created for and what they are used for are two different things. I'll never forget when I campaigned, I had a constituent tell me T-Splosh was created to improve our roads, to pave the roads, to make sure when there were cracks, they were filled. Now we want to use it for all kind of silliness. Now, one of the things I will point to, you're right, Clinton. I think what's happening now with E-Splosh, I am an advocate too. We don't need another tax. We don't need any more money to put in the superintendent's pocket. If anything, if we're going to pass an E-Splosh, and this is where we need a school board that's competent. Outside of, I think Tanya Howard Hall gets it. But the only way I will vote for E-Splosh is if we're going to give teachers a raise. Well, but Groves High School was the dumbest mistake, a bullshit that they could have ever built. Dante, I don't know if you know this, but the new Groves has a high school, a middle school, and an elementary school all in one, which is stupid as hell, because what happens if, God forbid, one of the high school students finds one of the middle school students attractive, and by the way, the high school student is 18 years old. That was a stupid ass idea. By the way, the elementary school families were like, I don't want my 8-year-old or third grader going to school with a middle schooler or high schooler. So you're right, Clinton. I think they're off board. And we need to start holding people accountable by reading the policy on why these special local option sales taxes were created in the first place.
Well, I'll tell you the solution I want for education. I think the city council needs to create a voucher system or the state. If the city council can't, the state and rather than putting tax revenue in the hands of the local school boards, you put in the voucher system and you give parents and guardians choice of homeschooling, schooling online, public school, or private school. And that's where the money goes. We know exactly where it will go. When you give it to more than education, you have no clue where it's going to be spent. Then you have the teachers union, completely corrupt. Every time they give a hike for the teachers, it goes towards administration, janitorial, transportation, everything but the teachers. So all the teacher union is a barrier preventing teachers from giving the raise. That's all they are. Go ahead.
Dante?
I don't have nothing to add. I'm sorry, I came in on the tail part end of it. So
no, we were talking about these special, in all our communities, we have special local option sales taxes, which are penny taxes. They add to everything, and it creates more cost for residents. And one of the things we were talking about here in Savannah, we have now an East Plus. We had a T Plus about 2 years ago, transportation special local option sales tax. It got defeated because we have idiots that run the county. Now we have an East Plus, which is an educational sales tax. And Clint was talking about they already have a surplus of $4 million. Now they want another penny on the dollar. And they have done nothing but build a bunch of bullshit schools that do nothing but look free and do nothing for the students.
Correction. They had a surplus.
Oh, excuse me. So they screwed that too.
Yeah. They had. The past tense. The money's gone, all right?
So what I don't understand in Savannah, what's the purpose of building all these schools? Because it's not that many students in Savannah. I mean, it's not that many kids. So I don't understand why they're building all these high schools as if Savannah is like this big as one of the largest cities in America.
Exactly. But complete incompetence. All they had to do is look and see that their student body dropped ever since the pandemic. Only build a few of those schools, not all of them. And they want to save some money and maybe have money left over to maintain the schools that they built. Now that they built them, they'll have the money to clean them. They'll have the money to pay the maintenance fees, the bills for the electricity. They'll have the bills for inventory, for cafeteria, and I go on and on and on. So
it's almost like we all like nice things, right? I go out and I buy a Jaguar, but I can't pay to get the Jaguar oil change.
That's when you need to make a compromise and go out and buy a Toyota like a normal person rather than buying a Jaguar, That's something that you have the money to maintain.
Well, I mean, I maybe I'm wrong, or I don't know too much of the issue, but common sense would have been just to fix the high schools that had already existed in the schools. In Savannah.
No, that would be too easy. That would make how would you want you that?
That would be like the simplest thing to do. Just fix the schools that already exist in Savannah.
You got to think of Savannah logic. Rather than maintain or fix what we have, let's just tear it down and build something completely brand new that we can't afford to maintain. That makes a lot of sense. That's what we'll do.
And I wonder how many of the builders or contractors are from the community. So I'll leave
none. I can tell you that.
Yeah. But y'all, let's talk about our main topic. We want to send congratulations out to President Musk and Vice Presidents Trump and Vance and
let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's give Trump his due. And you know what? I've been waiting to say this for a very long time. Welcome to 2025. President Trump is on his way. Tomorrow, finally, we get to say President Trump. We have a live man that would actually be in the White House. We don't have to worry about the president dying on us like this last one. So, I don't
know. The Iranian government is after him. So I don't.
When you say we don't have to worry about, not having a live president, have you looked at his wife? She can wear him out. You never know. She looks pretty healthy, so she might be too much for him to handle.
Well, I think tomorrow. I will say this. I want. What interests me is, I get people have their emotional feelings to it, but we've got to have some kind of respect for the office and put the person aside. And so a lot of people tomorrow are going to be pissed off and do all these things. Just be normal. We wouldn't want people to treat it Kamala that way, so don't treat him that way. You have your rights to feel the way you want to feel. But I will say I like this. I like from day one he's going to be definitively doing work. I wish the Democrats wouldn't quit being, excuse my language, quit being, I won't use that word, quit being docile and do some work. I don't necessarily agree with it, but on tomorrow, immigration is going to be on lockdown. And you got to applaud the man for being definitive.
I have to admit, he's fast. He's real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trump, after he won the election, had already started getting a lot of the groundwork implemented for what he wanted to execute on day one. So like you said, on day one, he's already going to jump out the gate rolling. Emotional feelings. Bobby, you hit on that. And I think people on social media need to really take a reality check. Trump is going to be our president for 4 years. You can't be on your emotional roller coaster every single day because you might stress yourself out and die, honestly, because you're going to get really upset at everything that he does and say. Trump is an asshole. Go ahead and accept that and just realize that. He's going to say some off the cuff marks. So just go ahead and accept that because that's about to happen for the next 4 years. He's not Joe Biden. He's going to say whatever comes to his mind. Immigration, guess what, people? That's about to be that. Trump is really going to be hard on immigration. He's going to be a true conservative, and he's going to get some W's, some wins off of that. So there might be some family separation, and there might be some cruelty, or some people might look at it cruelty. But if you're not a U.S. citizen, you're going back to your home country.
Well, technically, my sister is a U.S. citizen, but I'm going to work around that, see if I can get her deported. Really
The Greenland.
yeah, myself. See you later. Good luck.
Can we not? Let's not put that in the universe. Let's not say Greenland. I'm going for Jamaica. I'm gonna put in the universe. Let's annex Jamaica.
I actually have.
I want to say this, and I've been hearing this on the news all day. And I'm not a 100% Trump fan, but I will say Susie Wiles, with her in place as chief of staff, I'm not so fearful of what we have. I don't think it's going to be the same as before. I think you're going to get somebody who's really strong and is going to do what they say. But I think Susie Wiles deserves a lot of credit for building a good framework. I mean, this thing it's not fearful. I don't agree with it, but I'm okay. I'll say that.
I mean, so far she's doing the best what she can do managing Trump. And managing Trump is very hard, but so far she has done a very successful, good job. I mean, she's already told people in the Trump administration, especially the cabinet nominees, not to be on social media. Now, the only one that's not following that direction is President Trump, but the rest of them have taken her advice and not post on social media, which is good because they actually should be focused. And hopefully on tomorrow, they, again, get out the gate and start getting some of their accomplishments already on the board. Because technically, they only have 1 year to really get some successes. Next year is going to be midterm season, and Democrats are already going to be focused on that. So they only have 1 year, and hopefully Republicans don't do this stupid infighting like they are now. Let's not be the Democrats when Biden got elected. We have control of the House, the Senate, and the White House, and the Supreme Court. So really, we shouldn't have any resistance pushing bills through.
Well, most political parties, no matter what the political party is, once they get a main office, they tend to fracture and have a little mini civil war. Every political party. What we can do is hope that all the political parties learn, hey, this is not the time to fracture. You need to work together and get whoever you want elected. And that's not going to happen if you're fighting amongst one another in your own party. Period.
Right. And well, I don't count Margie Taylor Greene as a Republican, so there you have it.
Well, y'all got rid of Jeff. Why y'all won't get rid of Marjorie?
I mean, if I had control of it, she would be gone.
Jeff, y'all did Jeff dirty. Jeff wouldn't deserve that. You know what happened to Jeff Duncan Clinton?
No, tell me.
Oh, Dante, they just straight up just told him grab your bags and leave. They just threw him out. He has no place.
That's what I saw in the news that man being dragged out of on the procession.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot that was him.
Well, in fairness, Jeff Duncan did it to himself. I mean, come on, he really did. And to be honest with you, I think he's a Democrat at this point, just a conservative Democrat, and that's okay. And if he voted for Kamala Harris, I can't see him voting for another Republican. He got beef with Brian Kemp, so I don't know how that's going to work out. I doubt if he like the Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. So, and it's okay. We gladly give you Mr. Duncan. Proudly.
What was
you can have
West
him
Virginia?
and you can have Liz Cheney.
Well, what about the West Virginia? The guy who's West Virginia. Come on, man. He did the same thing.
Now, Mitt Romney. I won't let Mitt Romney.
No, Mitt's just real.
Yeah, I like Mitt Romney though.
I thought Mitt Romney retired, didn't he?
He did retire. I don't know if he'll come back. I hope he does. I'll be honest. I like Mitt Romney. I like the who's the guy from Arizona who passed away? Oh my God, he just slipped my mind.
Senator McCain.
McCain. Honestly, I think slowly but surely, I think what Trump presents and what he is to his core are two different things. I think to his core, he's more of a Reagan-ish Romney guy, but I don't think he's as elaborate. I think a lot of things come out of his mouth and his behavior are for entertainment value. But I do think inside, the man got a little bit of sense.
Trump is a entertainer. He is a walking producer. Every time that camera is on, he is putting on a show, and he's trying to get a reaction out of the audience, whoever is watching him, whether it's a Republican or Democrat. And a lot of stuff that he said or says is just to get a reaction. And some people clutch their pearls and grab their pussies just because they're so emotional about everything that he says. But sometimes it is just to get a reaction. Just look at the policies and the things that he's doing in government. And he's not really a true conservative. Trump is more of a moderate than anything.
No,
J.D. Vance is really really the true conservative out of Trump.
I don't like J.D. Vance.
I have to disagree.
Yeah, go ahead.
Trump is a 1985 Democrat. If you look at his policies, there's stuff that were being introduced by Walter Mondale. I mean, he's an old 80s Democrat, not a current Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Does not fit the Republican mold. But he changed the Republican Party. And the only reason I think the Democrat Party is having a difficult time is because there's only a few extremists that are messing up the whole party, making all the moderates bail and leave. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. Because, no offense, but every party needs moderates. You can't just have nothing but extremists.
I agree.
Well, I mean, the Democratic Party, Bobby, you probably can speak to it, but the Democratic Party for so many years has played identity politics. Like that has been their go-to card. And that has really produced a lot of extreme people on their side to where you have to go to the far left. And if you are not moderate, then they just kind of want to kick you out the party. Now, at least I can say for the Republican side, we try to do a good job of keeping the small mega crowd very, very small within that 30% and keep them in check, or get Daddy Trump to keep them in check. The left, on the other hand, y'all have no problem.
Well, the thing is, and
framing somebody.
In some of the conversation I've had, at least with some sources, one, the Democrat Party doesn't have an identity. I think the thing that really screwed things up, and I said this a long time ago, they should have left Joe alone. That was a major mistake, because what it did, it made people feel like, oh, now the Democrat Party can tell us what to do. That was the first mistake. Then you don't have real ideas to promote. And then on back of that, she copies one of them. And then, oh, no, I don't know where I got it from. But then the third thing I think is bad is you got people like Nikema Williams who don't know her. All she wanted was that damn House seat. She got it. And you don't have real leadership at a state level. Much less you got this there's nobody leading the Democratic National Committee. So, you know, people are not going to like what I said, but I said it for years. You got to put people in place who want to do real strategy instead of looking pretty. And we don't have that.
The problem in modern politics is more about image than substance.
Yeah.
Right.
When people even campaign, rather than focusing on the platform and the ideas, they focus on charisma, religion, appearance, ethnicity, everything except the platform.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Look at me. My family member got killed. Look at me. I got hit by a bus. Look at me. I have this type of skin. I'm this gender. I sleep with this type of person. All that's irrelevant. What ideas do you have to resolve our problems? And that's what people need to start voting on. They need to ignore the appearance and pay attention to the ideas that they think will solve the problems in their neighborhood. Period.
Well, hopefully the Democratic Party will go through their autopsy report and be realistic. I think just trying to come out, just start in the Trump administration, just saying no to everything is not going to look good. The Democrats did take the L this cycle, so they need to regroup and really, like Bobby said, I think they need to find their identity. But they do need to get a control on their extreme elements. Because some of the stuff, honestly, it does not make sense. I mean, the Democratic Party, the fact that they can't answer a simple question of what is a woman, that is another reason why some people are leaving the Democratic Party. It's basic common sense stuff that's just kind of making people look at them like, okay, this party can't be serious.
Yeah. Well, y'all, we're gonna take a break, and we'll be hold that thought. We'll be right back.
Savannah, are you looking for some of the best Southern soul food? Then check out Kim's Cafe at 714 MLK Boulevard. The food is so good, you'll think that your mother cooked it. Located in the heart of Savannah, Kim's has a menu that includes breakfast anytime, lunch when you need it, and dinner so you won't have to cook when you get home. They also cater all types of events and can host your reserved event at the restaurant. Come see what everyone has been raving about. Great food, great atmosphere, and a great time. Kim's Cafe, 714 MLK Boulevard in beautiful downtown Savannah.
Oh, I mean my friend, your Savannah homeboy, Clarence Thomas, made sure that I don't go to prison.
So Julius is in there talking to Trump. Ooh, I'm telling.
All right, Clinton, I think you had a thought before we went to the break.
Yeah, I think what we need to focus on, not just federal and state, but local, we need to drop the identity. Because poverty doesn't care who you are, it strikes anybody.
Mhm.
And anyone can be homeless. You may think it'll never happen to you, it can. And
Yeah.
anyone can be sick and debilitated. And we all end up in the ground, where we want to or not.
Right.
So all we have is one another. And what all the people in power do is they pit us against each other, to point the finger at one another on whose life has been more difficult. Well, if we do that, it never ends, because there's always someone else that's having it more difficult than you. And it goes on and on and on. So I think the best thing we need, or we should do in future elections, convince the people to only think about the issues, to only think about the ideas, and to ignore their emotions. I know that's difficult, but so many candidates reach out and pull on people's heartstrings or anger them or pit them against other people. That they forget what we're all in this for, to make life better. And they go into that loving booth, loving with their heart and not their mind. And that's why we always end up complaining on these videos, because we end up with leaders that are selling us down the river. Right now in Savannah, the majority of the council is just selling Savannah off to the highest bidder,
Yeah.
and gentrification is expanding at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
The Harnett plant, they've hardly hired anyone that was born and raised in Savannah, and they have no intentions on training, anyone who is born and raised in Savannah.
I'm glad you said it. Yeah.
They're intent on bringing their workforce from everywhere else, and if you don't believe it, take a look at all the new apartment complexes, all the new houses being built. No one born and raised in Savannah has the money to afford rent or mortgage of such a high level, and they know it. So we'll be given a choice. We either move out or go homeless.
Yep.
And that's why we should have pushed for candidates that would, no. You can't move your business here unless you hire at least 30% people who are born and raised in this city, and you're willing to train them. If you're not going to do that, take your plant, take your business somewhere else. That's fair.
No, I agree. And to your point, I think one of the things that concerns me, and this is across the board with politicians, is who's kissing whose ring, right?
Yeah.
And right now, I think locally, you're right. You see people bending to the will of developers and those with the bags of money. And what we're seeing now, and this concerns me, one of my concerns with the Trump administration, the second one, is you have nobody on that cabinet that has really struggled or had to pull himself up by the bootstraps. You have millionaires. And so at some point, when do we do what Biden talked about, oligarchy? We're heading in that way, not only at a national level, but throughout politics. It's like, who can buy the power?
I mean, it's really hard for Biden to call anybody, or Biden can't even say the word oligarch. I mean, his whole family is that actual word.
Oligarchy.
I mean,
I think that's it. Greenland.
Well, I'm saying he's the definition of that. So he should be the last person critiquing people. Since he's on his way out now, he wants to tell the world all the Democratic secrets or all the political secrets. Cut it out. I mean, what he's saying is true, but there were millionaires and billionaires that worked in the Biden administration that also gave him some donors and stuff that he did. Politicians do that on both sides. It is a little bit alarming, but I mean, it's something that they do all the time. So,
well, at the same time, you don't want to vote for an impoverished person that's only going to care about, how can I get paid, because then they're not working for the people. What you want is a mixture, a happy medium.
Mhm.
Someone who may be middle class or wealthy, but they earned it. They earned it
Right.
through trial and error. And that way they'll pick practical policies that not only uplift them, but uplift their citizens and constituents. But what we want to create is an environment where people can gain a job, be trained, and make enough money and not just pay bills, but to put that into the economy with their purchasing power and making their life more comfortable. But if everyone's unemployed because you're taking a payoff and selling off the city to the highest bidder to any interest group, where it's a business or something else, that actually not only hurts the people, your constituents, but in the long run, it hurts you because your dollar loses its value and it won't purchase as much as it used to. So you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. So what do y'all think about Kevin picks? Anyone your favorite or any that concern y'all?
Oh, I really don't have no favorite picks, to be honest with you. Well, I'll say that I am happy that Matt Gaetz was he decided to drop out. I thought he was I thought he was too controversial. I'm not sure why Trump even decided to pick him. I think that was also just a shock value just to get the news coverage on what he was doing, because it did not make any sense. Matt Gaetz, to me, well, From what is being said, I mean, it seems like he's a pedophile. But I'm not sure why Trump even went that route. Everyone else, I think so far so good. Their hearings have been going well. The Democrats are doing the same kind of playbook that I expect them to do. There's some picks I don't understand why he picked them, but it is his administration. He can do that. Um, I didn't understand why he picked Linda McMahon for the Secretary of Education.
She
I
can
did do some
suplex the Department of Education, suplex that ass out of there.
So I did do some research. She did do stuff like in her state for like the education system, but she doesn't come from an education background. So I'm not sure why he decided to pick her in that area. But
Well,
again, it is his pick.
we need to abolish that department anyway. So who cares what's in that office? I mean, come on. I remember before there was a Department of Education. I was born before 1980. So we don't really need it. Let's just get rid of it.
I think honestly we should cut the Department of Education. It's not beneficial.
Well, if we do, then where do things like federal student loans, all of those functions go? I mean,
let me tell you why we need to get rid of student loans, the Pell Grant, and the Hope Scholarship. Because the more we utilize them, the more the tuition jacks up. It's an excuse for colleges to keep making their prices so high that you have no choice but to apply for these loans, these grants, and these scholarships. And that puts a greater burden on the taxpayer. If we cut it all off, they have a choice. They can lower their prices to where people can afford to go to school, or they can just go out of business and not have a job as an administrator.
I can see that. I guess because I've never seen the opposite of the system. I think one, it does need to be much lower, but two, I think I agree with that. I think what I want to see in these next 4 years, and I am a fiscal conservative, meaning that type of burden shouldn't be on the government anyway. That type of burden is for maybe the banks or something like that. And if you got to get a loan, maybe it should. I don't know, but I don't think that was a small function of the U.S. government in the first place.
As long as we keep pumping state and federal money through these programs to the colleges, they're just going to keep jacking up their prices for the students, and their administrations are going to just keep growing. So if you cut the money off, first they'll make cuts in the faculty, and they're not going to cut the administration first. And then,
they're going to cut DEI. DEI is gone. You might as well goodbye.
And then when the student body begins to shrink, they're going to have to start cutting the administration. And finally, it'll get through their fixed goals. Maybe we should lower our tuition. Yeah, maybe we should teach, I don't know, real classes where it's been Elvis 103, Maybe we should provide courses that help people get employment when they graduate. That might be a good move for us. And they'll change and they'll compete in the open market. But as long as we throw this money at them, they're just going to bloated. And it's going to hurt the people that are trying to do at college because they have a choice: go in debt for life or try to do a job that doesn't require a degree.
And honestly, I'll be honest with you all. I wish I'd known this a long time ago. Maybe I would, or maybe I wouldn't have. But don't you know a career in real estate or a career in the trades would get you 10 times more than you're going to get this piece of paper with your name on it?
Yep.
A plumber can make $100,000 right out of high school.
Well, people ask me all the time, well, why did you go to college? I went, if I was normal, I would have never went. I would have become an electrician.
Right.
No, I wouldn't become an electrician or a plumber. It pays so much more money. Unfortunately, I don't have the muscle to do it, but if I could have, I would have.
Yeah, I think, the average, well, I won't use that, but a good number of people come, I'm raised in a home where the next step was college, and it was like, well, here's your options. Here's the menu should have been the conversation. I don't knock it, but one of the things I want us to do a better job of as communities is tell the young people their options. Like, college is not the end all be all. There are people who are right out of high school make 10 times more than I do and make 10 times more than I do now, and they don't have to have that piece of paper with their name on it.
The reason that we made a bad decision-making process and we delivered the wrong message is we forget to teach people who are going through K through 12 the importance of a work-life balance. You want a job that not only pays well, but is, how can I put it, gives you the ability to have a life. And if you're in debt for your entire life, that's not a job, that's a prison sentence. And you're not going to add anything to the neighborhood. Because if you're stuck doing something that is that much of a burden on you, you're not going to really have enough money to survive anyway. And we also need to stop demonizing people or patronizing them or talking down to them if they're in the blue collar sector.
Right.
But a lot of people in the blue collar sector are far superior in intellect to many college graduates. And it's a big fallacy to assume that because someone has a degree, that equals intelligence. A degree simply means I have the ability to learn in a traditional manner. That's what it means.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, but Clint, you said something that was very important. Being in debt is a prison sentence, and going to college is not something that is not really for everybody. There are other ways to be successful in life. I mean, there are many trades, like some of you guys have already named, being an electrician or a plumber.
Or air conditioning.
Or air conditioning, or for that matter, if you work at McDonald's, that too can be successful. I would encourage you, if you're going to stay there, to work your way up to be the store owner. Not continue to work at the entry level position, but you don't have to be, a lawyer, a doctor, or all these fancy jobs. You can actually do something worthwhile in the community and have a successful life.
Yeah, landscaping pays big money. It's hard.
Man, yeah.
It's very hard work, but doing people's shrubs, doing their grass, cutting their trees, that's really hard. But you know what? At the end of the day, you make more money, and the only thing you got to deal with is maybe being in pain from a hard day's work.
Right.
And it's over.
A barber actually makes good money if he
they do.
If he has a good clientele.
Yeah. So landscaping, salons, barbers, they make great living.
That's it. But y'all, going back to the cabinet picks, there is one that kind of, I'm like, I need y'all to rethink this, and that's Kash Patel for the FBI. He is way too dangerous, and some of his views, and I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
I don't know. I'm kind of impressed by him. He got up a lot of scandals.
He did.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot.
Well, help me, educate me.
Well, he found out that they've been sort of manipulating the political structure for quite some time and doing illegal activities that they're not supposed to be doing and interfering with the operation of other departments of the government, trying to control information. I think they've become drunk with power and they need to put that in their place. That can happen in any department.
What's your thoughts on Kash, Dante?
I mean, Kash Patel, like Clinton said, he was a whistleblower. I mean, he was bringing a lot of this information to the forefront for many years. He's been always on CNN and Fox News talking about a lot of stuff that goes on in the government, a lot of the backroom deals, a lot of the not doing what they're supposed to do, better oversight that needs to happen. So when it comes to Kash Patel, the only pick that I had an issue with was Matt Gaetz. Everybody else, I think it's fine. I think Kash Patel is going to go in there and clean up the FBI. Hopefully, he can release some files too. I'm very interested in the Malcolm X and MLK files, but that's my personal preference. Also, the Kennedy file as well. I would love to hear about that, and also some alien files. So hopefully, he goes in there and actually clear house. I don't think Kash Patel is going to do what the Democrats are saying. I don't think he's going to use the government to go after them. I think he's probably going to shed light on what some people in the FBI and the government was doing when they were in power, but I don't think he's going to go out looking for, I need to go target this person because they are a Democrat. or because they are against President Trump?
I
don't
think
see that either.
I think a lot of people in power are trying to raise hysteria to prevent him from digging into stuff. So they're trying to put out a panic. Always want to come after this person, that person. No, I don't think he has an exact target. I think he just plans to go in there and find out what's going on.
Mhm.
And I mean, to be honest with you, I hope he go in there and find out what's going on with, or what happened with COVID. Like, that needs to truly be investigated from the top to the bottom.
He already
How
has.
the government reacted, how the pharmaceutical companies reacted, that really needs to be investigated as well. I'm pretty sure if he goes that route, some people will try to start to say that he is attacking political opponents.
Have you been watching Rand Paul? He's got up so much stuff on the corruption of COVID. And let me tell you, Dr. Fauci should be in jail.
He should be. He
should be.
really
But I'm
should
gonna
be.
tell y'all, the one thing I want to stop to your points is I want people to stop with, oh, you had an affair or you slapped your mama or whatever. That has nothing with except I thought that was a bunch of bullshit that the Democrats pulled.
Yeah, that made him look
That's
bad.
what they do in their house, in their bedroom, because 9 times out of 10 you've done it yourself as a questioner, as a senator. And
Well,
so let me just state this. I know people don't like it, but I'm a realist. Hell, Senator Ronald ran over his wife, but that didn't come up. So let's just be, if we're gonna be real, let's be real. Don't call the pot the kettle pot, whatever, the pot black, how it goes, but don't call people out over silly shit that has nothing to do with leadership.
Well, they made the mistake of trying to connect with people's emotions, and they should have looked at his record and his career, not his personal life.
We see how that worked out with those damn trials that wasted all this money.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care if they're wasting taxpayers' money, bringing up people's personal garbage. I care, and I don't want to know. I don't care.
I don't give a damn. Can they lead?
Well, you
I
know,
don't care whose mouth went where and who they beat up.
Look, unless he murdered his wife, we don't need to know.
When it comes to Pete,
you know,
it makes no sense for anybody in the U.S. Senate to bring up him beating his wife or doing anything to his wife, because, like you said, Bobby, some of them have done it as well. I mean, that's one of my beef with the NFL and Super Bowl. The fact that they have not yet let Chris Brown perform at the Super Bowl, where you have all these NFL players who beat their wives daily and they get to play, but you can't let him go perform. Yeah, I kind of went on my rant because I get upset every year that they skip over Chris Brown.
Well, my point is, if you're going to do that, you need to implement that rule on everyone, not just a select few. But you need to be
fair. But you know, that's for theater, Clint. You know, it's for theater. They do the same thing every time that the Republicans pick somebody up. They go back and dig up people from in high school or middle school. Oh, this girl said you raped her in high school. Well, shit, that was 30 years ago. You know, I don't remember what she looked like. And they probably was a hoe back then and had different girls, you know.
I don't care. I mean, my thing is, and this is the thing I want. This is a major Achilles heel of the Democrats. Stop coming for people's personal business. Number one, when you all know y'all did y'all dirt, but two, nobody can. I kept saying this on our other program, The Rabble, and people get pissed when I say this. Nobody cares that Trump did all that stuff. People care that they got to live every day and their money short. They don't care that They don't care if they grab them by the pussy. They care that they can pay for groceries and feed their families. No, they don't care.
People forget we're not electing a pastor. We're electing a political leader. Okay, if you want religion, you know, to your church, your synagogue, your mosque, whatever. If you want a president or governor, whatever, that's a whole different category. You can't expect them to be the pillar of character. I mean, yeah, they got to be somewhat decent, but you don't need to get up all their dirty laundry. That's just,
yeah, because some pastors are not even the pillar in their own community. So
we won't get into that, you know.
Well, y'all, we're gonna step away for a break, but when we come back, I definitely want your feedback on the upcoming Ossoff versus Kemp. We'll be right back.
Need your garments cleaned with care and with a professional touch? Then bring them to One Price Cleaners in Garden City at the Old Farmers Market on Highway 80. Service you can count on.
there! Are you ready to amplify your voice and embrace your passion? Tune in to Our Black Media Network, where community comes first and every story matters. We're here 24/7, delivering powerful content on everything from financial literacy to the latest in sports and mental health. We are unapologetically real, reflecting the heartbeat of our community with programs that inspire, empower, and drive change. Join us on all major media platforms to celebrate our unique voices and advocate for the change we want to see. With over 50K monthly viewers, our network is your go-to destination for authentic, engaging content. Be a part of the movement. Be a part of the change. Tune in to Our Black Media Network today and let your voice be heard.
All right, y'all, it's out there. I don't want people to think I'm making it up or the aliens told me, but even Ossoff himself knows it's coming. But Kemp is gearing up to take it to the streets for that Senate race.
Well, Kemp has some advantages, but Ossoff, he's been in office for a while himself. Well, I don't know how it's going to fare, to be honest with you.
You know, I'll go ahead and take this one. I Ossoff can try, but Kemp is going. That seat is coming back to the Republicans, and Kemp would be the best person that the Republicans get nominate and could win the general election. Let's be fair. Ossoff won simply because of a runoff and because Trump told Georgia voters not to go out and vote. And then also you had Georgia Republicans who were not happy with their two choices at that time. And Warnock and Ossoff slipped right in there. So now we're going to have a real challenge, just like we had a real challenge with Kemp and Stacey Abrams the second time around, and she lost. So we'll have a real challenge with Kemp and Ossoff. And I don't think Ossoff is going to be able to pull it off. Georgia is still a red state. Kemp is going to get that seat back. And once Warnock time comes around again, they're going to get that seat back again, too.
Well, I'll tell you all this. I can tell you right now, if Nikema Williams stays as the chair of the Democratic Party of Georgia, it's a wrap. You've got to get, and I've said this to the powers that be here in the state of Georgia, we've got to get a chair for the state that is no nonsense and in your face. And if Nikema's running this show, Ossoff is over.
Well, from what I heard, also Ossoff and Nikema Williams are supposed to be battling.
Well, he knows how weak she is, and he knows that if she's in the driver's seat, he's doomed. He knows that, and that's kind of where I think that's coming from.
Well, I mean, if you look at her record, she is kind of weak. The Democrats didn't get that much seats in Georgia.
Well, you look at the thing that got me, you all, and I don't dislike her as a person because a lot of people mistake, but when it comes to doing this work, all she wanted was John Lewis's seat. Now you got to step aside. Bottom line, you got what you wanted. You got the blow pop. You got the candy bar. Get out of the way because you've done nothing. Look at how Kamala Harris should not have had to struggle in Georgia with Atlanta and all. So you had Atlanta. All you had to do was get your ass out in rural Georgia. She didn't show up. And guess what they did when they came to Savannah? They dealt with the elites. That's why Stacey got her ass handed to her. They dealt with the elites. And the only way you're going to win a statewide race in Georgia is to flip at least 3 or 4 rural counties. Anybody knows that. But you got people like Stacey who thinks Hollywood is going to save her. Y'all ain't Ronald Reagan. So you got to get somebody who's at the head of the party who understands real strategy and leadership, and she just ain't it.
Well, people think celebrity equals success, and they don't realize people can care less what a celebrity thinks, because that's not what puts food on their table. And it's not going to pay their bills, and it's not going to, keep them alive. What they want is practical sense. And when they present an elite person that has their head in the clouds and has never had to worry about health problems, never had to worry about a car payment, or where they're going to sleep for tonight, or where they're going, where they're going to have enough money to buy clothes for their kids, they don't want to hear what that person has to say. And that person's going to be talking about climate change, transition from one sex to another. And you're sitting there and you can't even buy groceries you can give a damn about climate change. I mean, you don't have enough money to buy food.
That's it.
And the person telling you about climate change, this is your city in a private jet that put out 10 times more pollution, but they were too important to get on a regular commercial plane like everybody else.
Yeah. I never understood the whole climate change argument. Like their logic always falls on deaf ears because, like you said, Clint, they violate their own their own reasoning every time. But hold on, before we go tonight, we have to talk about what happened this week at the General Assembly for the state representatives, the state senator, excuse me, who
What
got
happened there? I saw the article, but I was like, I don't feel like reading this. This is something stupid.
So basically, he said something about the former speaker who passed away. He was supposed to apologize. He never apologized. They told him he can't enter the Senate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they told him he couldn't enter the Senate chambers. He didn't take their words seriously because he didn't, and he was about that life. He thought he was just going to get up in that chamber, and they had his ass arrested. But you know, when you watch the video, that was really embarrassing, to be honest with you, for him to be an elected official acting like that. And it was really a political stunt. You know, people in the 53rd district of Georgia, that's your state senator. You know, that's who y'all voted for. I don't know why y'all did, because I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff just to get political attention. And that's not a good representation to me.
What senator was
it? Colton Moore.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's District 53, right?
Yeah, District 53.
I just need them all to grow up. A lot of times, what irritates me with a number of legislators, stop trying to make a statement and worry about your constituents. That makes, because first of all, just do your damn job. That makes it a lot easier.
Now, one thing I will say, I in his defense, and I'm not trying to go too far to defend him, but in his defense, since he is an elected official, I do think he had a right to be in those chambers, regardless of what he did. If they don't want him in the chambers, then they should do something to remove him from office. But since he is an elected official, I do think he had a right to be there. But he still acted like an asshole.
Yeah, but still, he made a scene. Okay?
He did make a scene. Yeah.
Debating where he had a right or not, he made a scene. He should have diplomatically went away. He should have read the room and went, "Yeah, this ain't going to end well."
Well, see, I think the people at the State House, they know that this man is a camera seeking whore. So I think the best thing that they should have done was try to take care of that situation beforehand, either get him out of office,
right,
or not, or do something where he can't. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they
Well,
could have
it
done, but they
reminds
should
me-
have removed him from office if they
Right.
didn't want him to come to the assembly. But if he's an
Well-
elected official and he still has that title, then he has the right to be there. They know that
I
he was going to
agree.
come there and
It's almost-
grandstand.
It's almost like when you were in school, in grade school, and somebody said, "Well, your mama is," and you lose your. It's just as simple as that. He has a right to say what he wants to say. It may not be ethical or what we agree to, but you're right. To lock him out of a chamber because of some words shows that we got some children at play. But y'all, what are your last comments before we're out here today?
I want to bring up the Stacey Abrams campaign finance debacle.
Ooh, yeah, talk about that lawsuit.
Would y'all like to add your?
Well, we'll bring that on next week. We got 30 seconds. Was that your 30 seconds? And we'll bring it to next week.
All right.
All right, Dante.
Well, I'll say, hopefully the inauguration is good tomorrow. Everybody is warm, the best that they can be, and is safe. Hopefully, there's no lone wolves tomorrow. And everyone have a good time. And hopefully, the next 100 days is something successful.
I hope so.
Right. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.